Absolutely.
Another man impressive in his own right here. Long-running TV show on PBS full of down-home country wisdom. He's going to be performing in Tampa very soon as well.
Yes, he's going to be here Thursday, April 5th at the Tampa Theater. His name is Red Green. And if you're not familiar with the name, Red Green is one of those guys that has a lot of down-home country wisdom. He knows what it's like to be a guy, but he also knows how painful that can be for women. And I spoke to him in a segment I call From My House because it's from my house. Hey, Red Green, thank you very much for being here.
My pleasure, John. Always good to be down where you are.
You're an outdoors kind of guy. How do you get along with this technology?
I have a nephew that sets all this up for me. He puts a bunch of wires into a computer and then wraps himself in tinfoil, stands on the roof, and I pray for lightning.
Today's handyman gets rid of his junk by turning it into something useful. Your wife can relate. It's basically what she did with you.
What are you having most fun at doing now?
Well, I think now for me, doing these one-man shows is probably the best experience of my whole career, to be honest with you. I never did theater or stand-up comedy as a young man, so here I am at my age doing something new, and usually it's hard for a guy my age to be doing something new that's not a medical procedure, John.
If at first you don't succeed, use more duct tape. Junk? I don't see any junk. I see a top fuel elimination rail drag strip.
Someone coming to see the show, and I believe it's this coming Thursday. What can they expect to see and what can they expect to hear?
It's a 90-minute presentation. Some of it will seem longer, but it's the whole gamut. I talk about the television show. I give you advice, handyman tips, things like never get between electricity and where it wants to go. And advice how to get along with your wife, how to get away from her when you're not, and how to raise your kids and then apologize later.
But a lawnmower engine does one thing just as good as any V8. It makes a lot of noise, especially if we deinstall the muffler.
What is advice for men trying to figure out women?
Here's a big one for you, John. If your wife is having fun and you're not, you're still having way more fun than when you're having fun and she's not.
I got all the controls at my fingertips, ignition, throttle, and mulch. I'm basically ready to go. So remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
How about advice for men? Because we all do stupid things and we probably all should have checked out early.
Well, I think it sums up best in the man's prayer that we have on every episode. And it goes like this, John. You can join in if you know it. I'm a man, but I can change if I have to, I guess.
Red Green, thank you very much for being here.
My pleasure. Keep your stick on the ice, John.
Wait, what did he say there at the end?
Keep your stick on the ice.
Oh.
Growing up in Canada, that was the best advice you always had from anyone.
Absolutely great advice. Yeah, and back in the weather office, we always notice such things. I liked his suspenders, the red and green.
Very Dennis Phillips-esque.
Yeah, very nice. Cool guy.
How is our weather going to be?
It's going to be fantastic. We've got other colors out there, as I mentioned. It's going to be